Promises are made to be broken. Feelings are there to be heard. So much can be left unspoken when you only need to say 3 little words. Sitting in the gallery, trying to remember what it is that I've done. The only one I want to help me is the only one who I know will never come. Swear I'll change everything if you want me to. Whatever works, whatever works for you. Swear I'll change everything if you want me to. Whatever works, whatever works for you. Pretended I was older, pretended I knew better, till a friend told me you'd moved on. Now there's a hole in my jacket, there's holes in my shoes, and there's a hole in my heart since you're gone. Swear I'll change everything if you want me to. Whatever works, whatever works for you. Swear I'll change everything if you want me to. Whatever works, whatever works for you. For you. For you. For you. For you. Yeah, yeah. the song Whatever Works, I remember I came up with the basic chord progression for the verse, and I wanted something that sounded like a kind of busking song, because I was still busking then. And then the chorus, I remember coming up with the chord progression. I think it was in my mate Lawrence's house. We were messing around. I think we were going to record something. I was messing around on the guitar, and I came up with that chord sequence, which I still really like. I don't know what the first chord is. It's some sort of a D minor, seventh E thing or whatever. Showing the depth of my music theory knowledge. I can play it. I don't necessarily need to know what it's called. But I remember coming up with the chords, and I think the lyric came pretty quickly. I recorded it around the time I wrote it, shortly after I wrote it, with Brian McMonigal in his home studio in Derry. I'll try and put the demo up in the video description, just so you can hear again. What I've been trying to do is put the demo up so you can sort of hear the evolution of the song, and how the song sort of changed and evolved, and how things have been added and things have been taken away. And that song is one that I think you can really hear kind of how it's changed over the years of me playing it. I mean, I wrote it like 8.5 years ago, and I've been playing it pretty much every gig since. So I've it's got a lot of miles on it. And it was one that as soon as I wrote it, I kind of knew it was strong. And again, it was one of those songs that when people heard it, they sort of were able to connect with it on some level, which is always good. And that's kind of what, in my opinion, it's what you always kind of look for as a songwriter, is that you hope that people will be able to, not only is it one that you like, but hopefully it's one that people can connect to as well. And the sort of, again, in the sort of limited reach that my music has at the minute. And as I say, I mean, been playing it around for years, and like added the harmonica, which wasn't there when I wrote it. Added the kind of fuzz section at the end, which wasn't there when I wrote it. And the sort of looping element at the end, which I did a little bit of in the video. And it's just sort of evolved into this, into the way it sounds now, and I really like it this way. And I remember when myself and Shane Byrne were going in to record it for the album Romance&Melodrama. And we weren't 100% sure what way to go, because it's one of those songs that you could do it a lot of different kinds of ways and it would hold up, I think. And I mean, I've been playing it for, 8.5 years or whatever, and I've been played it, however many times, and jammed it with people, and, so I always had this sort of open-ended idea of what the song could be. And Shane hit upon this sort of groove, and it's almost, I thought of it as almost like you could have like a breakbeat almost, or a sample, and I could play over that. And Shane created this really cool beat, and has I think like pizzicato strings, or I think he's got about a mandolin in there as well, and it's got this kind of cool sound, and then the guitars go over the top of that and the vocals go on top of that. And again, similar enough to Broken Down Romantic, I knew that you could stretch it out and you could get really sort of noisy and crazy with the outro section. But I don't know if it would have fit on that album particularly. I often think about with that song in particular, like if I'd recorded it on my own, it would have come out very different. It would have been a lot more raw and a lot more noisy and a lot more sort of crazy, especially in the outro section. But I don't know if it would have been better. It just would have been different. Sonically, wouldn't have been as interesting, and But myself and Shane, I think we're able to get a lot out of that song, and I mean, Shane's idea to add the backing vocal, the sort of loop and backing vocals at the end, which wasn't something that I'd thought of. It was another one of those areas where I tried to give Shane a bit of elbow room when we were recording to try and see if he could come up with anything. Because again, these are fairly old songs, and again, they've got a fair amount of miles on them. So I know them fairly well. But I still tried to give Shane a bit of elbow room to see if he could come up with something, and whatever works was one of the cases where he came up with, I think, a really cool sort of backing for it, and he was able to treat the song in such a way as he was able to get the best out of it, And so I'm happy with how it's come out, and I'm glad people seem to be enjoying it, the album version. So I'm chuffed at that. Yeah.